Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravana Chari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Shri Radha Radhanath Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Ki Jai, Shri Giraj Govardhan Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 20, Text 4. Purushayadi muyanti. Getting it? Okay, no problem. Tvadrisha deva mayaya, Shrama eva param jato, Dirgaya vridasevaya, Purushaya dimuyanti, Tvadrisha deva mayaya, Shrama eva param jato, Dirgaya vridasevaya, Purushaya dimuyanti, Tvadrisha deva mayaya, Shrama eva param jato, Dirgaya vridasevaya. Purushaya dimuyanti, Tvadrisha deva mayaya, Shrama eva param jato, Dirgaya vridasevaya. Purusha, persons. Yadi, if. Muyanti, become bewildered. Tvadrisha, like you. Deva, of the Supreme Lord. Mayaya, by the energy. Shrama, exertion. Eva, suddenly. Param, only. Jata, produced. Dirgaya, for a long time. Vridasevaya, by serving the superiors. Translation. If a personality like you, who are very much advanced because of execution of the instructions of the previous acharyas, is carried away by the influence of the material energy, then all your advancement may be considered simply a waste of time. Let's repeat. If a personality like you, who are so much advanced because of executing the instructions of the previous acharyas, is carried away by the influence of my material energy, then all your advancement may be considered simply a waste of time. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In this verse, the word Vrida Sevaya is very significant. Vrida means old. Sevaya means by service. Perfect knowledge is acquired from the acharyas or liberated souls. No one can be perfect in knowledge without being trained by the parampara system. Prithu Maharaj was completely trained in that line. Therefore, he did not deserve to be considered an ordinary man. An ordinary man who has only a conception of bodily existence is always bewildered by the modes of material nature. An ordinary man who has only a conception of bodily existence is always bewildered by the modes of material nature. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Ve'evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are here in this fourth chapter. Purushayadi muyanti tvadrisha deva mayaya shrama eva param jato dirgaya vridasevaya. If a personality like you who are so much advanced because of executing the instructions of the previous acharyas is carried away by the influence of the material energy, then all your advancement may be considered simply a waste of time. Heavy. I was listening to Borijan Prabhu explaining a little bit about this beginning verses of this chapter, and there were some things that have really been stuck in my head since we've been reading about Prithu, which seems to feel like forever. But I was really hung up about how Brahma, as a leader, doesn't correct Indra and instead stops Prithu. And we've heard for days why this happens. We've heard Indra would not have received the correction. And my mind still goes, but. And we've heard, Prithu didn't need the 100 sacrifices. My mind still goes, but. And we also heard that, if Prithu stopped, it would have stopped Indra. Then it would have stopped the irreligious acts. But still my mind goes, but, because those irreligious acts continued into Kali Yuga. Indra started it. It's not like because Prithu stopped the sacrifices that nobody else now dresses a sannyasi illegally. It still happened. So it's not like Prithu really stopped it. So my mind still goes, but. And therefore, from one angle of vision it appears that this is weak leadership. And this weak leadership is perpetuating misbehavior, which is unjust. And I have to say that over the last few weeks, my head couldn't get around that. Like, whatever our reasoning is, my head couldn't get around it. However, as we turn to this chapter in this Prithu Leela, the focus now shifts. And as the focus shifts, we learn that it's not about Indra. It's just not about Indra at all. It's really, the focus is Prithu. And the focus is just excavating and showing the entire world the sort of personality, the person that Prithu is. And that actually is the entire goal of this chapter, because we see that Prithu Maharaj actually internally is going through what would have perceived by any other ordinary person as a trial by fire. He does these 99 sacrifices, And we've heard about it now every single day. Prithu Maharaj said 99 sacrifices, 99 sacrifices, 99 sacrifices, not 100 sacrifices, the horse got stolen, 99 sacrifices. But you have to think about it. You think about we do yagyas, right? Like for Nishingadev Chaturdashi, we do a yagya. Janmashtami also we did a yagya, And it's like 2 yagyas in 3 months. Phew, a lot of work here. Now, think about the horse Asvamedha yagya. Even Burijan Prabhu says that we don't actually know the details of it. We don't understand exactly what it means. However, even if we took our normal yagyas, 1 yagya, 2 yagyas, 3 yagyas, 4 yagyas, 10 yagyas, 15 yagyas, 20 yagyas, 30 yagyas, 99 yagyas. It's something. It must have taken like years for Prithu Maharaj to do this. Years, because like the horse has to wander for a year or something. So it would have taken a long time. He would have dedicated some good portion of his existence to do this, and so therefore, when Brahma doesn't stop Indra, it's not weak leadership, but actually, when you see in this chapter that when Brahma doesn't stop Indra, it is Brahma being aligned to Krishna's desire, because Krishna's desire, as we see throughout this Leela, is not that Indra is corrected and reformed. Krishna's desire is to glorify Prithu and to bring out these aspects of Prithu that are just amazing to see in an individual. They're amazing to perceive. They're heroic, not with a sword and with a shield or an axe or in a battle. They're heroic of heart, because Prithu shows resilience, he shows restraint, and he shows forgiveness. And these qualities are so deeply impressive that nothing Indra could ever do could come close to being as impressive. So therefore, Brahma isn't weak in his leadership, he is aligned to Krishna. And it's hard to see at this point when we see Brahma correcting Prithu. It's hard to see what Krishna's plan is at that point. It only really becomes fully clear in the next chapter. And it reminds me of what Radhika Mataji has been quoting often in this last week, that maybe Brahma, maybe Narada, maybe they know Krishna's plan. Everybody else in creation, not. Now, when you're looking at Brahma and Narada, okay, Brahma is the four-headed guy who has created the entire universe. Like, maybe he'll know. Narada is the one who travels out of space in between the planets. Maybe he'll know. Us, no chance. No chance we're going to understand what Krishna's plan is. But even more than that, she was saying, that not even Brahma, not even Narada, no one understands Krishna's intention. So even when we can see Krishna's plan, to understand his intention behind the plan, that's something else. And so therefore this is why this pastime of Prithu and the horse sacrifices is bewildering. And Brahma's actions feels bewildering. Because Krishna's plan is in action. And we can only see his intention later. So, Krishna's intention, it appears, is to show the depth of devotion that Prithu has. And to reach into Prithu and reveal that depth of devotion to the rest of the world. So, the thing is that the 99 horse sacrifices gave Prithu Maharaj a darshan of Krishna. 99 horse sacrifices afforded him the unique opportunity of not just seeing Vishnu, and I'm using Vishnu Krishna interchangeable, face to face, but also receiving personal instructions from him. Personal instructions to sit down one-on-one with him and Krishna. This is what you're doing. This is how I think it should be done. This is what's going to happen. This is the type of leader you should be. One-on-one. 99 horse sacrifices gets him that. The 99 horse sacrifices gets him the ability to live the qualities of bhakti. To live them. To live the philosophy. And to become an example of what a Vaishnava should be. And you know what's the weird and funny thing? 100 horse sacrifices would have got him nothing. 100 horse sacrifices would have got him the opportunity to be Indra, which he didn't want to be. Equals nothing. 100 would have got him absolutely nothing. And so therefore, in reading through these verses, I realized that it's like reading through these chapters with the mentality that I have had, is like sitting for a geography exam when you learn for history. Or misreading the question and answering the essay question completely wrong. Because the test was not how many sacrifices Prithu can do. Jai Shri Shri Radha Radhanath, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. The test was not how many horse sacrifices Prithu was able to do. The test was, can you stop at 99? That was the test. The test was, can you stop at 99? And that's why Prithu passed with flying colors. Because it's not just sometimes about how much we do, but knowing when to stop. And it's really, and this is what refined intelligence in the process of bhakti is. It's been Radhastami, People have been baking cakes for Srimati Radharani and they look utterly gorgeous, and people have just been sacrificing, no sleep, putting all their creativity into it, and etc. And we're going through the realms of festivals. And whenever you're going through festivals, there's so much to do when people get high-strung. People get high-strung, and inevitably there's always one or two skirmishes. Here or there something goes awry, someone says something, somebody got upset, And at the end of the day, when the dust settles, you have to ask yourself, what was the test? To offer 100 cupcakes to Srimati Radharani, or to offer 50 with better mentality and having the opportunity to chant better japa? And you know what I'm trying to say? My point is sometimes it's not about achieving the 100, but knowing that we have to stop at 99. Now, Prithu Maharaj could have easily, he did stop at 99. He did stop at 99. And unfairly so. So it would have been so easy for Prithu Maharaj to slip into the victim mentality of how he was wronged. But he did the action, he listened to his superior and stopped. But there definitely could be something lingering in his heart that says, but Indra stopped me. But I've dedicated so much energy and so much time to this. And I've listened to my superiors and I've stopped, but inside I'm feeling I was cheated. I was wronged. I'm the victim. And the thing is that it's very hard to admit when we do something wrong and to ask for forgiveness, to be humble. It's one of the hardest things to do. But you know what's even more hard than that? Although it's hard to bow down when we've done something that's wrong, as we see with Indra, it's so hard for him right at this point to bow down. But it's even more hard to bow down and be humble when you know that you were right. And when you know that you were the one wrong. Then you are just. We can become just in our arrogance. Justly arrogant. And still it's arrogance. And that is actually harder to overcome. Harder to overcome than just saying, I'm sorry I did it wrong. So the question comes down to, do you want to be right or do you want Krishna? Prithu could have chosen to be right. He could have justly chosen to persecute Indra. But that wouldn't have gotten him Krishna. The question comes down to, do you want justice or do you want to accept Krishna's plan? And we can go through decades fighting the personal injustices that we have experienced. And it's not that they're not meant to be fought through. It's not that we don't stand up for ourselves. It's not that we allow ourselves to be exploited. That's not the point. The point is that when something has happened, only Krishna can allow things to happen. And if he's allowed it to happen, then we have to at some point accept that Krishna has a plan. And what is Krishna trying to excavate out of my heart? To show the world and myself how to be a devotee. So this is a classic example of how the winner loses and the loser wins. You know, Indra keeps his position and he's just the loser in this case. And Prithu accepts defeat and wins. And so therefore, it is hard to understand Krishna's intention. 99 horse sacrifices gave Prithu Krishna, and 100 horse sacrifices gave Indra shame. So, Vishnu comes to Prithu with Indra by his side. And he comes specifically because he doesn't want Prithu to harbor any resentment. So now not only does he want Prithu to stop the sacrifices, but he wants Prithu to forgive Indra. Stopping was not enough. He wants Prithu to forgive Indra. He wants to raise Prithu to the level of forgiveness. Now, while Prithu is standing in front of the Supreme Lord and Krishna is talking to him, we have to see that indirectly these verses are also being spoken to Indra. Because Indra is there. Indra is there and is witnessing it. And there, as Krishna is extolling Prithu and urging him in the principles of detachment and forgiveness, simultaneously Indra subtly is being berated. Subtly Indra is being humiliated by the truth that Krishna is speaking. And thus Indra is being corrected. He is being corrected in a very refined way. And therefore we find now in this chapter that actually everything is just. That ultimately Krishna's plan is just. And it's only because we focus on the one puzzle piece and we can't see the big picture that the feeling of injustice overcomes us. And so therefore, amazingly enough, it is Indra who has to go through this shame of standing with Prithu, with Vishnu, and hearing him speak to Prithu. And so therefore, as we're reading these texts, from text 4 to text 2 to text 16-ish, we have to think about what is Vishnu saying. We also have to think about how does it apply to Prithu. And the third thing we got to think about is what's going through Indra's mind and heart hearing it. Because a mirror is being held up to Indra. And he is seeing his pettiness now. How is he seeing his pettiness? Not by Vishnu telling him, Indra, really, how could you? But he's seeing his pettiness as Vishnu is extolling the light of Prithu's great qualities. That's how Indra is seeing his pettiness. So can you imagine if your guru or your teacher, or your parent or somebody your mentor, was taking you to someone externally junior to you, but internally super refined, and saying, this is my disciple, they acted like an idiot, and they don't even listen to me actually, but you have higher spiritual intelligence, so you please forgive him in your presence. So you can imagine that Prithu is being corrected. Not Prithu, Indra is being corrected, but in a way that's deeply humiliating, but not directly humiliating, because it's an offense to try to humiliate a Vaishnava, or to anyone for that regard. Humiliation should never be used as punishment, but indirectly he's getting this message, Indra. And so therefore, Indra is put in his place, and all is well. And with Prithu, later Krishna is telling Prithu, my dear king, I am captivated by your qualities. After all these things, after Prithu goes to the 99 sacrifices, after Brahma tells him to stop, after coming to Indra, receiving the darshan of the Lord, and receiving the instruction of the Lord, and being told to raise your consciousness so you can forgive, then Krishna tells him, my dear King Prithu, I'm captivated by your qualities. And how would it feel? How would it feel if the Supreme Lord or the spiritual master said, my dear so-and-so, I am captivated by your qualities. And that's what 99 horse sacrifices got Prithu, because he knew when to stop. So, we'll look a little bit now as to how Krishna is motivating Prithu to forgive Indra. And it's not that Prithu may be internally battling it. We don't know that. But it is true that the general living entity would have been internally battling it. So I'm taking it from that angle. The first thing that Krishna says is, Prithu, don't be malicious. And what does he mean by don't be malicious? He means don't try to retaliate towards Indra. Don't try to retaliate towards Indra. And what's the reason given? Krishna tells, what's the reason that's been given? Because you're not this body, you're a spirit soul. And at this point my mind starts doing foot flip-flops, because it's like spiritual bypassing, insensitivity, how can you just tell him you're not this body, you're a spirit soul, therefore forgive Indra. But the truth is that, and how numb we've become to this phrase, or I should speak for myself, how numb we've become to this phrase. Yet, the truth is that until we're able to embrace this, until we're able to embrace, first to accept, then to embrace, and then to fully digest, that literally this body is not me, and this body means this body and this mind, the physical body and the mental body. both is not me and that my identity is spiritual, until we're able to deeply to embrace this, we will not find depth in spiritual practice. We will not find depth. And yes, when we encounter someone who may require to forgive, to just tell them you're not this body, therefore forgive, it can be insensitive and can be spiritually bypassing the issues that they have gone through. At the same time, when we can be sensitive and we can withhold that information, but at some point they're going to have to come back to it. Maybe not immediately. Maybe we can be sensitive and say, okay, this person has gone through, they've lost somebody. They lost somebody they cared about. So you don't say it immediately. You're not this body, you're spirit soul. That person's also not their body. You'd cringe if you hear someone saying that. But the truth is that at the end of the day, that person's going to have to embrace it. One way or the other way. One way or the other way. And that's the only way we will find depth. And this is what Krishna is referring to in this verse and the previous verse as advanced intelligence. How is intelligence defined in the Bhagavad Gita? Knowledge is defined as the distinction between matter and spirit. And therefore intelligence means one who is not just receiving the knowledge and putting it into the brain, but can practically apply it. And so this is what Krishna is pulling out of Prithu. That in this verse where Krishna is saying, what would be the use of your advancement? It would be simply a waste of time. If you can translate that into different language, what he's saying is that, what is the use of all your spiritual practice if when the time comes to practically apply the philosophy, you fall short? What is the use of it? So, of course, we also know, according to Bhagavad Gita, that there's no loss or diminution, in spiritual practice. And that verse came up to my mind. I'm like, but Krishna, no loss or diminution. You can't tell me it's useless, And that's true. That's true. But what Krishna is saying here, or how I see what Krishna is saying here, is that, Prithu, I've given you so much. I've given you so much, and you're so dear to me. And there's so many reasons why you should be on a high platform of advancement. If you can't find it inside you to forgive Indra, then all of that would have been a waste. So therefore, Krishna is appealing to Prithu's advanced intelligence. Now, Prithu may already have it, but when I read it, I hear Krishna appealing to me, appealing to me. Be of advanced intelligence of everything and every opportunity I've given to you to serve, to hear, to be in the association of devotees, to be in the association of pure devotees, to chant Hare Krishna, to receive knowledge, to receive prasadam, to be in connection with the deities, of everything that I'm given you. And you still choose the material energy? If you still choose the material energy, then isn't this a waste? Isn't this a waste? When are you going to move to advanced intelligence? When are you going to see that the material world is not a shelter? And it's an umbrella that's full of holes. And when are you going to accept the shelter that I'm offering? When are you going to raise your consciousness and let that and let the philosophy and your life be synonymous? So therefore, we are considering what type of consciousness Prithu Maharaj has. Because we will read in the later verses, and yes, I am giving all spoilers, but it's okay. The Bhagavatam is eternal. And in the later verses, that Prithu, he just embraces Indra without any envy. without any envy. And so therefore, the caliber of who we are aiming to become as Vaishnavas is really high. It's a really high caliber. And when we go through the process of devotion and we find this is unjust, this is not true, this person did this, how could this happen? This doesn't, this is completely bewildering. We should see, what is Krishna trying to pull out of my heart? What quality is he trying to bring up so that I can become, even if unjust and even if wronged, I can become closer to him, because that is the reward. It's not like when someone does something to us that we feel is wrong, that if they say sorry, we now feel better. A lot hinges that we need the other person to apologize. It's like life somehow stops unless the other person apologizes. But the truth is, even if the other person apologized, what will we feel? Would it have changed the pain or whatever we would have experienced that person may have inflicted upon us? It doesn't. It doesn't. So the impetus becomes that we have to use every situation, and not use it like we're being we have to recognize that every situation is simply put in front of us so that we can practically apply the philosophy that we say we believe. Because that's the true test. If we believe it, why won't we apply it? So, today, as we're reading about King Prithu, and we're seeing Krishna's actions, we can pray for the vision, the Prithu-like vision of being able to see how Krishna is trying to raise our consciousness. We can pray to Prithu for that. We can also pray to the Vaishnavas that even Prithu, a Shakti avatar, didn't see it on his own. He needed Brahma. And he also needed Krishna to come in front of him and tell him. So we pray to the Vaishnavas to be kind upon us and to be there to show us when we're blinded by the victim mentality, to show us just how Krishna is trying to shift us. Because it's hard to see on your own. And so therefore, these pastimes of the Bhagavatam, they are not stories. They are here to be able to give us hope, to give us examples to turn to know that the process of bhakti is alive, it is dynamic, it is living inside each devotee. It's a customized plan. And that as we walk, and because we walk with Krishna within our hearts, and because we've attempting to try to turn towards him after so many lives turning away, that means nothing in our lives can be coincidental. And everything is there. Everything is there to carve out of the hard block of ignorance that's covering our souls, to carve through that ignorance and let that light of the true qualities of the soul shine through. Some days we may be Prithu and some days we are Indra. And sometimes we will learn through embarrassment and shame. Sometimes we will learn through good counsel. But Krishna sees for both these people. He's correcting Indra, he's raising Prithu. One learns quickly, one learns very slowly. And that is our only choice. Learn quickly or learn slowly. It's like a plaster. You either pull it out or you itch it out, but, and just feel the pain more as each hair follicle pulls out of your skin with that sticky thing. So that's the only thing. That's the only choice we have. To learn, we'll have to. But you either learn quickly or you either learn slow and painful. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. If there's any thoughts, comments, or questions. Okay, thank you so much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande.